Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Lusi Adelia Herman, and today I would like to present my thesis, which title Analysis of Violation of Cooperative Principle in Movie Stolen by My Mother Kamiyah Mobley 2020, written by Richard Clutter and Michelle Samet. Thank you for Lenny Marina for guiding me in finishing this research. Okay, let's come to the chapter 1. Language as a tools of communication must involve the cooperative principle to achieve the effectiveness in conversation. So for this research, the researcher chose film story of movie Stolen by My Mother, Kamiyah Mobley 2020 as an object of the research because this film was based on true story and this film was built from a main character's Gloria to lie to cover the truth of the story. So for identification of the problem, the researcher want to see deeply how cooperative principle was going on dramatically by using Rice maxim theory. The limitation of the problem. In this research, the researcher only focus on the violation of cooperative principle by using four maxim Rice theory 19 and 75. For this research, the researcher aims to find the classification of the classification of violation maxim performed by the characters in movie Stolen by My Mother Kamiyah Mobley, and to discover the most violated maxims performed by the characters Stolen by My Mother Kamiyah Mobley 2020. Next, move to chapter 2, review of related literature. The researcher used Grice's theory about cooperative principle. And in this research, the researcher used four maxims, which are maxim of quantity, maxim of quality, maxim of relevance, and maxim of manners. So there are two kinds of non-observant maxim. The first one is floating and violating. So in this research, the researcher used violating maxim as as the purpose of the research. So according to Herawati Tupan and Natalia 2008, he make the guidelines of the criteria of violating maxim that is called as that is called as Kitty 1, Kitty 2, Kitty 3, Kitty 4, and violation of quality maxim KL1, KL2, KL3, KL4, and violation of relevant maxim R1, R2, R3, R4, R5, and violation of relevant maxim M1, M2, M3, and M4. So for review of relevant maxim, there are four previous maxim that have that gave contribution to this research. The first one is Farida 2000 and the researcher contribute to this research in ways of formulating the data. And Junaidi 2017, the researcher give contribution in ways of showing the data description. And Angraini Gozali 2017, the researcher gave contribute in ways of showing explanation. And next, Rohmanti and Pradika 2018, the researcher gave contribution to this research in ways of formulating the percentage of the data. So for the chapter 3, the type of research, the researcher was in the form of descriptive qualitative, because the researcher uh, describe classifying and describing the data. So for data and source of data, data was a form of the utterances found in the dialogues in movies stolen by my mother. So for instrument of the research, the researcher used table of violation maxim used by characters in each categories guideline from Herawati Tupan and Natalia 2008 as it code as the following table, as you can see in the following table. And for method and techniques of data collection, the researcher firstly watch the movie and then look for the script, mark the scene including words, phrases, and sentences, and mark the utterances, and lastly tabulated the data. For tabulated the data, the researcher used 5 tables, as you can see in the first table. The researcher was classified the each based on time code, and uh, based on all of the categories. And the second table, as you can see, the researcher classified the data based on each maxim, which was quantity maxim, quality maxim, relevance, and manner violation. So for method and techniques of data collection, the first one is the first one is the researcher identify the data and then classifying the data, and lastly describe the data. And we come to the finding and discussion. So for finding of the discussion, the researcher found the occurrences of the symptom of quantity maxim violation used by the characters in movie Stolen by My Mother, Kamiyah Mobley 2020. For quantity maxim, the characters violate the quantity maxim in 19 times. As you can see in different categories of quantity violation. The first one is the characters you doing circumlocution or not to the point in 5 times, and the researcher at the characters being uninformative in 4 times. The characters talk too much in 9 times, and the characters repeat certain word in 1 times. As you can see from the table, the third indicator, which are the characters talk too much in 47%. It can be implied that the characters in this movie tend to violate the maximum quantity by telling more information than what is needed. And the second occurrences of the symptom of quality maxim violation used by the characters in film Stolen by My Mother, it can be seen that the characters violate quality maxim in 12 times, as you can see it in different categories of quality violation. When the speaker is being lie in 9 times, and when the characters being ironic and sarcastic statement in 1 time, and when the characters being denial in 2 times. And however, for the last categories, when the speaker distort information, however, the researcher didn't find any data related to this the 4 categories. So as you can see in the table, the first indicators when the speaker is telling lie is in the highest amount among the categories. It is because the reality that the movie was built from the main characters Gloria, who is always lie to cover any lies, to hide truth. And the last symptom, the last occurrence, the third occurrences of the symptom of relevant maxim violation used by the characters in movie Stolen by My Mother. So it can be seen that the characters tend to violate relevant maxim in 11 times. As you can see in the table, the characters violate the relevant maxim in different categories. The first category is when the characters is being unmatched with the topic in 3 times, when the characters change conversation in 2 times, when the character avoids something in 1 times, and when the characters hide effect in 4 times. And the last category is when the characters use wrong causality in 1 times. As you can see in the table, when the speaker had effect was on the highest person among the 5 categories. It can be seen that this movie, the characters tend to violate maxim of relevance in order to hide the fact about the reason behind the story. So the occurrences of the symptom of manner maxim. So the finding of the discussion, the finding of the research, the researcher find the answer to answer the research question and formula purpose of the research, which are to classify the maxim violation performed in the movie Stolen by My Mobley 2020, and to and to find the most violated maxim in the movie Stolen by Kamiyah Mobley 2020. As you can see in the table, so the characters tend to answer the first question. The characters tend to violate 4 maxim, which are quantity maxim, quality maxim, relevant maxim, and manner maxim. And to answer the second question, to find the most dominant maxim, which are quantity maxim. Among the 4 maxim, the quantity maxim was in the highest amount among the 4 maxim. So for the discussion of the research, this research of the researcher find that quantity maxim is the most violated maxim in the movie. However, this research is different from several previous research, as you can see in when Megah and Wahyuni 2019, the researcher found that maxim of quality is the most dominated violated maxim in the movie Omar movie. And Kairunisa 2020, the researcher found that manner maxim was the most dominated maxim, most dominated violent maxim used in the movie Coco movie. So for conclusions, dealing with quantity maxim violation, the characters tend to violate a maxim of quantity in 9 utterances. And dealing with the maxim of quality, the researcher have tendency to lie in order to hide the truth, and the researcher often being unmatched with the topic, so characters tend to violate maxim of relevance. And then the researcher rarely violate the maxim of manner maxim. It means the character was not brave enough in conversational contribution. So that's all my result of the research. Thank you.